So obviously what's he playing on? If someone says, "Oh, salvation by allegiance alone," you're like, we're used to hearing
By faith alone.
yeah, sola fide, right? We're faith alone. And so he's like, well, what is he doing? He's wanting to highlight this the doctrine of salvation by faith, but he's saying, I want to take that word faith and I want to say there's a problem with in English with
Right.
the word faith and how we understand it today, because belief and faith seems to have shifted into the realm of intellectual assent to an idea. In other words, oh, I agree with Caleb. Like Caleb gives me information. I
Right.
listen to the information. I say, okay, I believe it. It means I kind of agree intellectually.
Yeah. And so
And what Bates wants to do is say, wait a minute, if people are reading the Bible and they're thinking that this is what faith means, intellectual agreement to an argument or something, then they're totally missing out on works, on the idea of works and how he shifts it. So he takes this word pistis in Greek and says, it's not even faith, it's faithfulness. Some have said, well, it's really faithfulness. But what he shifts it to allegiance to say, and this could get back to that character formation thing we were talking about in Romans 5, a perseverance through trial in a way that is consistent and mature with the what is confessed. In other words, if I'm saying one thing and I'm doing something different, that's hypocrisy. That's not faith, right? But if I'm a hearer and a doer, then that's coherent. That is what Bates, I believe, would call, he wants to use the word in English, allegiance.
Okay, hang on just a sec.
Allegiance is a hearer and a doer.
Okay, hang on just a sec. So you have two ends of a spectrum, and then this book actually kind of falls. Bates kind of falls in the middle, or kind of solidifies one of the arguments. First of all, you have like the new independent fundamentalist Baptists who say works have nothing to do in any way, shape, or form whatsoever with salvation. In other words, once a person believes, that is, mentally understands that God or that Yeshua is the Savior, and accepts that, that's it. They're saved. Once saved, always saved, and there's no losing that. So works have nothing in any way, shape, or form to do with it. On the other end of the spectrum, you have someone like N.T. Wright who comes out and says, just as Rob just said, okay, the word faith should actually be translated in many places as faithfulness. And he gives examples. And there's actually an article that I pulled up. We can talk about this at some point too, where he's going to say, in fact, we have a bigger issue as well, whether or not it's Yeshua's faithfulness to the covenant or our faithfulness to Yeshua. And so he teases that out. What Bates is going to say is, okay, yes, there are times when pistis is going to mean belief, as in I have understanding and or belief in something. What we would term as maybe the standard Christian traditional view of faith. But what Bates is going to say is, no, the view, and he's not going to reference N.T. Wright in this, but basically the view that N.T. Wright has some not only merit, but maybe N.T. Wright and those in that camp don't go far enough. In fact, and as Rob and I have said in many times on this show, there are multiple meanings to multiple different words. We've always highlighted the term circumcision and how circumcision has multiple different meanings within the scriptures. And we could show other examples of words that have multiple meanings. Flesh would be another one, right? What does it mean, our flesh? There's multiple meanings. And so what Bates is going to do is he's going to take this word pistis, which is translated as faith, and he's going to say one of the great and correct interpretations of this word is allegiance. And he's going to give examples. So for instance, and I thought the one that was really kind of hit home was the one in Romans 3:21 through 25. I'll read. Now, what he's done is he's switched it. He's switched faith to allegiance. Listen to how this reads now. He says, but now the righteousness of God has been manifested apart from the law, although the law and the prophets bear witness to it, the righteousness of God through allegiance of Jesus Christ, or should it be to Jesus Christ, for all who give allegiance. For there is no distinction, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God and are justified by the grace as a gift through the redemption that is in the Messiah, Jesus, whom God put forward as a propitiation by his blood through his allegiance. And one of the reasons that this hits home so well is because if you have faith there, through whose faith?
Right.
Go ahead.
A really good place too, just to underscore this, and I see value in this word allegiance, because allegiance also, one of the things that allegiance conveys that faithfulness kind of does, but I think allegiance has a little more power to it, is when I get to a fork in the road, so to speak, like there's two different authorities saying different things. Like Judas did not show allegiance to Yeshua, right? The 11 disciples, they wanted to show allegiance. Even Peter's like, I'll die for you. I'll die with you. They'll have to kill me. And Yeshua's like, look, you're going to, before the cock crows, 3 times, or you're going to deny me 3 times, etc. But I've prayed for you, right? But Yeshua never told Judas he prayed for him. Judas was, negotiating his own benefit, he had one foot in with the disciples and another foot in another network of, trying to do what's best for Judas in his own broken evil, but he was not he didn't show allegiance. But Stephen, right before the Acts, is showing allegiance to Yeshua.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button and check out more videos from Messiah Matters.